I'll take turns on this chapter because it's different letters.
Oh,
Different
yeah,
yeah!
that's true.
That's a great
Also, we're live
idea.
now.
We're live! Hello! Welcome in! Here we are once again. Gonna take you for a
Hi.
spin. Alright.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm doing the Roblox.
Roblox. Oh,
Hi.
hold on.
There's a hi in roast. I didn't know that. I
It's
only know the
hi.
oof.
Oh,
Oof!
Glorious who might want to
Oof.
listen. I remember, nothing is showing in the voice channels. Ah, yeah. He's been wanting to, hop in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Invite him on.
We both posted the live on.
Yeah, well, if you want him
Two
to be in here, that's
lives.
also fine. Oh, you can. Yeah. Yeah, he did say he just wanted to listen, so, I mean, I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
So, everyone coming in, this is, how you say Dracula Chapter 5.
Dracula
There you go.
Chapter 5. Are we ready to
Yeah.
go?
Chapter 5 of
Yes.
Dracula.
I am
Mm,
gonna be completely locked in with finishing up chapter 3. So
mhm.
I'll mute myself here.
Alright. Ready?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm ready.
Chapter 5. Letter from Miss Mina Murray to Miss Lucy Westenra, 9th of May. My dearest Lucy, forgive my long delay in writing, but I have been simply overwhelmed with work. The life of an assistant schoolmistress is sometimes trying. I am longing to be with you, and by the sea, where we can talk together freely and build our castles in the air. I have been working very hard lately because I want to keep up with Jonathan's studies, and I have been practicing shorthand very assiduously. When we are married, I shall be able to be useful to Jonathan, and if I can stenograph well enough, I can take down what he wants to say in this way and write it out for him on the typewriter, at which also I am practicing very hard. He and I sometimes write letters in shorthand, and he is keeping a stenographic journal of his travels abroad. When I am with you, I shall keep a diary in the same way. I don't mean one of those 2 pages to the week with Sunday squeezed in a corner diaries, but a sort of journal which I can write in whenever I feel inclined. I do not suppose there will be much of interest to other people, but it is not intended for them. I may show it to Jonathan some day if there is in it anything worth sharing, but it is really an exercise book. I shall try to do what I see lady journalists do, interviewing and writing descriptions and trying to remember conversations. I am told that, with a little practice, one can remember all that goes on or that one hears said during a day. However, we shall see. I will tell you of my little plans when we meet. I have just had a few hurried lines from Jonathan from Transylvania. He is well, and will be returning in about a week. I am longing to hear all his news. It must be so nice to see strange countries. I wonder if Jonathan and I, shall ever see them together. There is the 10 o'clock bell ringing. Goodbye. Your loving Nina. Tell me all the news when you write. You have not told me anything for a long time. I hear rumours, and especially of a tall, handsome, curly-haired man. All right.
Me.
Who wants to be Lucy? I love
I
Lucy. You go for it. Also, is anyone sensing an affair between Mina and Lucy, or is that just me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Ah, my dearest Mina, I must say you tax me very unfairly with being a bad correspondent. I wrote to you twice since we parted, and your last letter was only your second. Besides, I have nothing to tell you. There is really nothing to interest you. Town is quite pleasant. Was Town is very pleasant just now, and we go a good deal to picture galleries and for walks and rides in the park. As to the tall, curly-haired man, I suppose it was the one who was with me at the last pop. Someone has evidently been telling tales. That was Miss Homewood. Mr. Homewood. He often comes to see us, and he and Mama get along very well together. They have so many things to talk about in common. We met some time ago a man who that would that would just do for you if you were not already engaged to Jonathan. He is an excellent party, being handsome, well off, and of good birth. He is a doctor and really clever. Just fancy. He he is only 9 and 20, and he has an immense lunatic asylum all under his own care. Mr. Homewood introduced him to me, and he called here to see us, and often comes now. I think he is one of the most resolute men I ever saw, and yet the most calm. He seems absolutely impertur- in, imperturbable. I can I can fancy what a wonderful power he must have over his patients. He has a curious habit of looking one straight. He has a curious habit of looking one straight in the face, as if trying to read one's thoughts. He tries this on very he tries this on very much with me, but I flatter myself that he's got a tough nut to crack. I know that from my glass. Do you ever try to read your own face? I do, and let me tell you, it's not a bad study. It gives you more trouble than you can well fancy if you've never tried it. He says I afford him a curious psychological study, and I humbly think I do. I do not, as you know, have sufficient interest in dress to be able to describe the new fashions. Dress is a bore. That is slang again, but never mind. Arthur says that every day. There, it is all out. Mina, we have told all our secrets to each other since we were children. We have slept together and eaten together and cried and laughed together. And now, though I have spoken, I would like to speak more. Oh, Mina, can you guess? I love him. I am blushing as I write, for although I think he loves me, he has not told me so in words. But oh, Mina, I love him. I love him. I love him. There, that does me good. I wish, I wish I were with you, dear, sitting by the fire, undressing as we used to sit, and I would try to tell you what I feel. I do not know how I am writing this even to you. I am afraid to stop, or should I tear up the letter? And I won't want to stop, for I do so want to tell you all. Let me hear from you at once, and and tell me all that you think about it. Mina, I must stop. Good night. Bless me in your prayers, and Mina, pray for my happiness. Lucy. P.S. I need not tell you this. Need not tell you this is a secret. Good night again, L. And I guess since this is still Lucy to Mina, I continue.
Go
I
ahead,
think
go ahead.
so, if you don't mind.
Yes. 24th of May. My dearest Mina, thanks and thanks and thanks again for your sweet letter. It was so nice to be able to tell you and to have your sympathy. My dear, it never rains, but it pours. How true the old proverbs are. Here I, who shall be 20 in September, and yet I never had a proposal till today. Not a real proposal, and today I have had 3. Just fancy, 3 proposals in one day. Isn't that awful? I feel sorry, really and truly sorry, for 2 of those poor fellows. Oh, Mina, I am so happy that I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with myself. And 3 proposals. But for goodness sakes, don't tell any of the girls, or they would be getting all sorts of extravagant ideas and imagining themselves injured and slighted if in their very first day at home they did not get 6 at least. Some girls are so vain. You and I, Mina, dear, who are engaged and are going to settle down soon soberly into old married women, can buy his vanity. Well, I must tell you about the 3, but you must keep it a secret, dear, from everyone, except, of course, Jonathan. You will tell him, because I would, if I were in your place, and certainly tell Arthur. A woman ought to tell her husband everything, don't you think so, dear? And I must be fair. Men like women, certainly their wives, to be quite as fair as they are, and women, I am afraid, are not quite as fair as they should be. Well, my dear, number 1 came just before lunch. I told you of him, Dr. John Seward. The lunatic asylum man with the strong jaw and the good forehead. He was very cool outwardly, but was nervous all the same. He had evidently been schooling himself as to all sorts of little things and remember them, but he almost managed to sit down on his little cat, which men don't generally do when they are cool. And then, when he wanted to appear at ease, he kept playing with a lancet in a way that made me nearly scream. He spoke to me in a very straightforwardly. He told me how dear I was to him, though he had known me so little, and what his life would be with me to help and cheer him. He was going to tell me how unhappy he would be if I did not care for him, but when he saw me cry, he said that he was a brute and would not add to my present trouble. Then he broke off and asked if I could love him in time, and when I shook my head, his hands trembled, and when and then with some hesitation he asked me if I cared already for someone else, for anyone else. He put it very nicely, saying that he did not want to wring my confidence from me, and only to know, because if a woman's heart was free, a man might have hope. And then, Mina, I felt a sort of duty to tell him that there was someone. I only told him that much, and then he stood up, and he looked very strong and very grave as he took both my hands in his and said he hoped I would be happy, and that if I ever wanted a friend, I must count him one of my best. Oh, Mina dear, I can't help crying. You must excuse this letter being all blotted. Being proposed to is very nice and all that sort of thing, but it isn't at all a happy thing when you see a poor fellow whom you know loves you honestly, going away and looking all broken-hearted. And to know that no matter what he may say in the moment, you are passing quite out of his life. My dear, I must stop here at present. I feel so miserable, though I am so happy. Evening. Arthur has just gone, and I feel in better spirits than when I left off, so I can go on to tell you about the day. Well, my dear, number 2 came after lunch. He is such a nice fellow, an American from Texas, and he looks so young and so fresh that it seems almost impossible that he has been to so many places and has had such adventures. I sympathize with poor Desmona when she had such a dangerous dream pour in her ear, even by a black man. I suppose that we women are such cowards that we think a man will save us from fears, and and we. I suppose that we women are such cowards when we think a man will save us from fears, and and we marry him. I know now that I would what I would do if I were a man and wanted to make a girl love me. No, I don't, for there was Mr. Morris telling us his stories, and Arthur never told any, and yet, my dear, I am somewhat previous. Mr. Quincy P. Morris found me alone. It seemed that a man always does find a girl alone. No, he doesn't, for Arthur tried twice to make a chance, and I helping him all I could. I am not ashamed to say it now. I must tell you before that Miss Morris doesn't always speak slang, but that is to say, he never does so to strangers before them, for he is really well educated and has exquisite manners, but he found out that it amused me to hear him talk American slang, and whenever I was present, and there was no one to be shocked, he said such fancy things. I am afraid, my dear, he had he has to invent it all, and for it fits exactly into whatever he has to say. But this is a way slang has. I do not know myself if I shall ever speak slang. I do not know if Arthur likes it, as I have never heard him use any as of yet. Well, Mr. Morris sat down beside me and looked as happy and as jolly as he could, but I could see all the same he was very nervous. He took my hand in his and said ever so sweetly, "Miss Lucy, I know I ain't good enough to regulate the fixin' of your little shoes, but I guess if you'll wait till you find a man that is, you will go to join them 7 young women with the lamps when you quit. Won't you just hitch up alongside of me and let us go down the long road together driving in double harness?" Well, he did look so good-humored and so jolly that it didn't seem half so hard to refuse him as it did poor Miss Dr. Stewart. So I said, as lightly as I could, that I did not know anything of hitching, and that I wasn't broken to harness at all yet. Then he said that he had spoken in a light manner, and he hoped that if he had made a mistake so, in doing so on so grave, so moment, so momentous an occasion for him, I would forgive him. He did, he really did look serious when he was saying it, and I couldn't help feeling a bit serious too. I know, Mina, you will think me a horrid flirt, but I couldn't help feeling a sort of ex exul exultation that he was number 2 in one day. Then, my dear, before I could say a word, he began pouring out a perfect torrent of love-making, laying his very heart and soul at my feet. He looked so earnest over it that I shall never again think that a man must be playful always, and never earnest, because he's merry at times. I suppose he saw something in my face which checked him, for he suddenly stopped and said in a sort of with a sort of manly fervor that I could have loved him for if had been free. "Lucy, you are an honest-hearted girl, I know. I should not be here speaking to you at all as I am now if I did not believe you clean grit right through the very depths of your soul. Tell me, like one good fellow to another, is there is there anyone else that you care for? And if there is, I'll never trouble you a hair's breadth again, but will be, if you will let me, a very faithful friend." My dear Mina, men are so noble when we women are so little worthy of them. Here I was almost making fun of this great-hearted true gentleman. I burst into tears. I'm afraid, my dear, you will think this is a very sloppy letter in more ways than one, and I really feel very badly. Why can't they let a girl marry 3 men, or as many as want, her, and save all this trouble? But it is heresy, and I must not say it. I am glad to say that Though I was crying, I was able to look into Mr. Boris's brave eyes, and I told him out straight, yes, there is someone I love. Though he has though he has not told me yet that he loves me. I was right to speak to him so frankly, for a light came onto his face, and he pulled out both his hands and took mine. I think I put them into his and said in a very hearty way, "That's my brave girl. It's better worth being late for a chance of winning you than being in time for any other girl in the world. Don't cry, my dear. If if it's just for me, I'm a hard nut to crack, and I take it standing up. If that other fellow doesn't know his happiness, well, he better look for it soon, or he'll have to deal with me. Little girl, your honesty and pluck have made me a friend, and that's rarer than a lover. It's it's more unselfish, anyhow. My dear, I'm going to I'm going to have a pretty lonely walk between this and Kingdom Come. Won't you give me one kiss? It'll be it'll be something to keep off the darkness now and then. You can, if you like. For that other good fellow, he must be a good fellow, my dear, and a fine fellow, or you could not love him. Hasn't spoken yet. That quite won me, Minna, for it was brave and sweet of him, and noble too. To a rival was it, and he's so sad. So I leant over and kissed him. He stood up with my two hands in his, and as he looked down into my face, I'm afraid I was blushing very much, and he said, "Little girl, I hold your hand, and you've kissed me. And if these things don't make us friends, nothing ever will. Thank you for your sweet honesty to me, and goodbye." He wrung he wrung my hand, and taking up his hat, went straight out of the room without looking back, without a tear or a quiver or a pause. And I am crying like a baby. Oh, why must a man like that be made so unhappy when there are lots of girls who would worship the very ground he trod on? I know if I would if I were free. Only I don't want to be free. My dear, this quite upset me, and I fear I cannot write of happiness just at once after telling you of it. And I don't wish to tell of the number 3 until it can be all happy. Your ever-loving Lucy. P.S. Oh, about number 3. I needn't tell you about number 3, need I? Besides, it was all so confused. It seemed only a moment from his coming into the room until both his arms were around me and he was kissing me. I am very, very happy, and I don't know what I have done to deserve it. I must only try in the future to show that I am not ungrateful to God for all his goodness to me in sending to me such a lover, such a husband, and such a friend. Goodbye. My throat.
Amazing! That was very passionate. Oh my gosh. Thank you for reading that. All right.
I love that. You did great,
Mhm.
Stag.
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
Word order. Please.
The patient. Okay, hold on 1 second. All right, I'm ready. Dr. Seward's diary. Kept in photograph. Oh, hello? Somebody just hopped in.
Hello, it's me.
Hello, are you walking your cat?
Yeah, I'm actually sitting in a park right now. Oh, she dropped her treat. Sitting in a park right now with her in her little backpack.
Oh my gosh. That's fantastic.
I don't know if she's having a good time or not, but I'm hoping she is.
I hope so too, for her sake.
Can we get a Hazel picture?
Oh yes.
Thank
Let me
you.
get a good one here. But yeah, what did I join in the middle of you reading something?
Dracula. We're almost at the end of chapter 5.
The girls want to kiss each other. I mean, what?
They do? Oh my gosh. And
Oh,
then
hell yeah.
one girl was like, why can't I just marry 3 men and then go live with you by the seaside? That's the ideal life. Oh my gosh. Hot and heavy on the polyamory and the romance and the implied lover. You gotta love it. This is very, very, I like it a lot. Okay.
Everyone is a bisexual mess.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
And even Dracula's focused on love. So even if he can't feel it, apparently. Like, oh my gosh.
Every scene he's in, he's all like, by the way, Mr. Harker, have I mentioned I wanted to fuck you?
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Don't let me,
Just
Johnny,
upset
stop
me.
you. Let's keep hearing more of that.
I know. We're in one of the intermission chapters, though, so it's all letters all the time.
Got you.
Although I do
Okay.
love the little lesbian lovers on the sideline. Like, let's go, lesbians.
Let's go, lesbians. Let's go.
Let's go, lesbians. Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
All right. If we're all settled in, ready to go, I'll pull up my music and start the show. Don't expect me to keep rhyming because I can't keep up the timing. And here we go with the Dr. Seward's Diary. I think I'll pronounce it Seward, but all right.
Sigurd.
Yes. Dr. Seward's Diary. Kept in phonograph. 25th of May. Ebb tide and appetite today. Cannot eat, cannot rest. So diary instead. Since my rebuff of yesterday, I have a sort of empty feeling. Nothing in the world seems of sufficient importance to be worth the doing. As I knew that the only care for this sort of thing was work, I went down amongst the patients. I picked out one who has afforded me a study of much interest. He is so quaint that I am determined to understand him as well as I can. Today I seem to get nearer than ever before to the heart of this mystery. I questioned him more fully than I had ever done, with a view to making myself master of the facts of his hallucination. In my manner of doing it there was, I now see, something of cruelty. I seemed to wish to keep him to the point of his madness, a thing which I avoid with the patients as I would the mouth of hell. Under what circumstances would I not avoid the pit of hell? Omnia Rome venalia sunt. Hell has its price. Verb. Sum. If there be anything behind this instinct, it will be valuable to trace it afterwards accurately, so I had better commence to do so. Therefore, R.M. Renfield. Age 59. Sanguine temperament. Great physical strength. Morbidly excitable. Periods of gloom, ending in some fixed idea which I cannot make out. I presume the sanguine temperament itself and the disturbing influence end in a mentally accomplished finish. A possibly dangerous man, probably dangerous if unselfish. In selfish men, caution is as secure an armor for their foes as for themselves. What I think of on this point is, when self is the fixed point, the centripetal force is balanced with the centrifugal. When duty, a cause, etc., is the fixed point, the latter force is paramount, and only accident or series of accidents can balance it. Should I go ahead and read the last one since it's super short? You? Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
That depends on whether or not you want to do an accent or if you want to hear me try.
Oh, yeah.
Since I was reading dialogue from him anyways.
E. Letter Quincy P. Morris to Hon Arthur Holmwood. I do wish I knew what these little abbreviations were. Alas, if we put them in our world, they wouldn't know what LOL is, so I'll take it. Okay, here we go. 25th of May. My dear Art, we've told yarns by the campfire in the prairies, and dressed one another's wounds after trying landing at the Marquises, and drunk healths on the shore of Titicaca. There are more yarns to be told, and other wounds to be healed, and another health to be drunk. Won't you let this be at my campfire tomorrow night? I have no hesitation in asking you, as I know a certain lady is engaged to a certain dinner party, and that you are free. There will only be one other, our old pal at the career, Jack Seward. He's coming too, and we both want to mingle our weeps over the wine cup, and to drink a health with all our hearts to the happiest man in all the wide world, who has won the noblest heart that God has made, and the best worth winning. We promise you a hearty welcome, and a loving greeting, and a health as true as your own right hand. We shall both swear to leave you at home if you drink too deep to a certain pair of eyes. Come! Yours as ever and always, Quincy P. Morris. Telegram from Arthur Holmwood to Quincy P. Morris, 26th of May. Count me in count me in every time. I bear messages which will make both your ears tingle. Art. And
That was
thus
not an
ends.
accent I expected for
Bingo,
Quincy.
huh?
For Quincy, I had to make him different from Seward. I needed to
What?
give him that, nasal, because I'm also congested, so
Oh,
my range is limited.
I think it's because Lucy mentioned him being from Texas, which is why I was reading it Southern.
Oh my gosh, I missed it. No, poor Quincy.
Yeah, you had to sneak in a yeehaw every other sentence.
All right, let me read it. Oh yeah, no. Oh shit, I'm sorry. All right, well,
Oh
my
shit, I'm
bad.
sorry.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you. I totally thought. Well, anyways.
It's okay.
Honorable. Ooh,
You
good
know
to
what?
know.
Speaking of Texas, this is kind of an aside. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
surprised you don't have much of a southern accent.
I think Rev also said that to me. Yeah. I think it has to do with the fact that my mom and her family are Syrian, so that accent is not present in a lot of my family.
That's true. That might have been why I didn't grow up with much of one. I kind of had one, but not much. So now it's just a sort of mix between Canadian and Southern, and
Yeah, yeah.
trying
I
to
still
sound
do
American.
say some things with a kind of southernly, but I try not to.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Tom.
No, you didn't interrupt anything.
Oh,
It's all good.
okay.
Ooh. Did you guys have any ones that you really wanted to hit up? Because the next one on the list is Alter Vita.
Ooh!
Ooh.
Honey.
Nice.
I don't mind what line we do, so I'm good with that.
Okay, I will post the link.
Okay. I will
It
also
should
post them.
pop up correctly.
Yes. Oh my goodness. This is the Oscar chapter.
Yay!
Yay, Oscar.
Oscar.
Mhm. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, it's been
Actually,
so long since I've read any of this.
give me just
Crazy.
one moment. I'll be right back just briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm like really pushing through this last part of chapter 3. It's rough.
Ooh, I like it rough.
Um,
Wow, I shouldn't be
no.
allowed to speak anymore.
That's time out for you, ma'am.
I didn't mean it that way.
Got it. No, I'm very excited.
Good.
His fight scenes are hard, man.
Yeah, they are. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Honey, how'd you do your fight scene that you recently wrote? if you can hear us. What's oh
From the
What?
ether.
the ether? Oh yes.
Hello. Sorry.
Hello. Oh, talking about the fight scene you wrote. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
released to the public yet, but I was wondering because it was really intense.
Yeah. Most of the stuff that like I try to focus on is pacing with it first rather than most of anything else. So like
Mhm.
shorter, I don't know if I use shorter words, but like shorter sort of like getting to the point of what's happening,
Mm.
and like just maybe not fully finishing sentences, like cutting them off, or like just stopping an action in the middle of it by adding a new action on top of it, and just sort of like using the, because I know like um I tend to like using things that do sounds, as well, because the
Mm.
sound of like something hitting, and like specifically I had to do that just because Adelaide is blind, and so she's the one telling you that a fight is happening, and so she uses sound more, which makes sense that I have to use that mostly, but it also helps
Mhm.
because just the sound of something can tell you what's going on, in a way that's quick without needing to describe like, oh, this is where it was, or um stuff like that. I don't know, you just
Yeah.
kind of have to like,
That's cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah,
I definitely,
Yeah.
I don't know, I worry about my pacing with fight scenes, but
Mm.
yeah. It can be
like
really hard.
describing every
Mhm.
action. Yeah.
Yeah, and like most of the time you can kind of get away with not describing everything. Like
Yeah.
if it's important and is what is like um actually filling out what the scene is, then yeah, of course. But if it's something like what's an example? Like usually I notice that like describing that someone falls and like how they fall slows down a quick paced scene, just because like I want to describe like how the dirt feels or the concrete or stone or whatever it feels, how they hit it, what that does to their lungs, and like maybe even it ricochets into their teeth or something too, you know, and that kind of slows down the actual fight. Um, but if you use it like if you use that and then the jump back into a really quick paced sort of thing, that long part kind of gives you a breather to go back into the quick thing, and then it's like it feels more digestible that way, if that makes sense. Where
Uh-huh.
sort of I try to focus on like how, what am I trying to say? Like not doing the same thing over and over again in each paragraph with either sentence length or sentence structure. But
Mm.
like you build it up and then you change it. Maybe that change is like really quick. Not quick, but like just a short little change, and then going back into the same type of sentence structure as before to keep that same pacing, but sort of breaking it up so that it's not something that's too much or overwhelming. Or does that even make
Mm.
sense?
Yes,
Yeah, I
It's sort
get
of like
that.
to keep
Yeah.
up the chaotic pace of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you like keep doing the same thing over and over again, then it's going to be kind of like, okay, this is normal, this is what's going on. But then if you kind of change that for a split second or even a little longer, then go back to the quick pacing that you were going to before, then it's like, oh, this is really quick, this is going by really fast, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 That's just what I think about it. I went a little deeper
Yeah.
into it than I think.
Thank you.
But
No, good. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to writing.
Yeah, mood.
we we're definitely talking about a writing party at some point. Pull out the old spring but
Yes.
this
Oh,
is a
yes, please.
reading party, but yes, at some point we should sprinto.
Yeah, we gotta.
Mhm.
One day, Sunday night, sprint those.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Mhm.
I'm
Since
back.
there, since there is a
Hi,
Yay.
Mimic.
Yay!
Mhm. Sprinto and also Star Trek Marathon. We've been
Yeah,
yes.
working
that
on
sounds
those
Oh,
lately.
that'd be fun.
better.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, do you guys want me to read this?
Oh, are you still working on your chapter?
I am.
Okay, work on that, and I'll read it.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
All right, here we go. The cell. Oh, this is chapter 4 of Alter Vita: A Second Chance, written by Algard Archives. As a reminder, the warnings. This has graphic depictions of violence. Step out now. It is Dark Souls related. Les Chevaliers. The cell door rattled. The stark sound of the metal gate clattering pierced through the thick silence like a blade. The hollow jerked its head at the noise. Through the gaps of the rustic bars, the torch-lit silhouette of a knight made himself visible, standing there. After a moment, the knight lifted a mass of different rotting keys. The hollow eyed him curiously as the knight's gauntleted fingers shifted the keys around their metal ringlet, each key softly clattering together in a sort of eerie chorus. Eventually, he seemed to have found the right one, for the knight then grabbed the lock to the cell, slotted the key in, and jostled the cell door wide open. The hollow weakly scurried towards him, gaunt body scrambling out of the small enclosure. Its savior was clad in armor, sword sheathed and shield hung against his back. His silver helmet completely concealed his face, the small, dark slit giving him a look of unwavering stoicism. The knight had an elegant blue tabard with gold encrusted along the edges and into ornate designs. He simply nodded down towards the hollow, then turned away, continuing his trek down the lengthy hall of prison cells. Oscar didn't bother glancing back towards the hollow, making his way through the asylum, using the torches mounted against the stone walls to guide him. The cellars were damp, oppressively so. The condensed moistness of stone could be heard dripping distantly, each droplet hitting the ground, causing an eerie, bitter patter that bounced off the thick stone walls. He had spent the past hour or so going down each of the prison's elaborate corridors, opening the cells of locked-away hollows, both old and new, in the hopes of finding ones who haven't lost themselves completely. Oscar continued down the ill-lit hallway, unlocking and opening every cage he happened upon. His metallic sabatons resonated down the long path, making the hollows cowering in his way flinch nervously. Poor souls, whether friend or foe, they feared it all. Light emanated at the very end of the corridor, and as Oscar approached, he saw that the stone walls stopped abruptly and became bars that revealed chambers beyond them, lit by more flickering torches. The spaces between the bars allowed the knight to peek out, revealing to him a large, ghastly area. However, it was completely empty. Odd. Was there not supposed to be a beastly demon who guarded each asylum, to keep any undead prisoners from leaving? It was a sadistic illusion, truly, for any accursed soul who wished to escape this egregious prison. Humans inflicted by the undead curse were sought out from all across the lands, taken from their past lives to be imprisoned, and kept from all other life in a dire attempt to stop the curse from spreading any further. Since undead lived for practically all eternity, the asylums had to be built to keep them for all eternity. First, one would need to get out of their prison cell, which is usually only done with a key. Then they needed to get past the asylum demon, a near impossible feat. Though the asylum demon is lowly ranked on the hierarchy of the various demon species, demons were still much more powerful than the average undead. However, even if one managed to escape, or better yet, rid themselves of the asylum demon, they would be met with a piercing dread once they realize the entire asylum is located on an isolated cliff, with no way to escape but to leap to their death. For the longest time, this series of traps and lies have made sure that every undead who is taken to the asylums never returns, forcing them to hollow and be forgotten forever. That is, until word of the prophecy of the bell started to spread. A prophecy originating from Oscar's home kingdom that foretold an end to the undead curse. A cure. A prophecy that tells the tale of an undead escaping the asylum within the clutches of a giant bird of the gods and traveling to the land of lords. As the saying goes, thou art O undead, art chosen in thine exodus from the undead asylum, maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When he ringeth the bell awaken, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. This was only the first part of the prophecy, however, as no undead had been able to achieve this. Oscar planned to change that. This very prophecy had been passed down to his family for generations, and though they were not undead themselves, ever since his uncle had turned undead, their noble family had been preparing for another bloom of the curse to appear amongst them. Had they expected this next undead to be the heir of the family name and elite knight? Most certainly not. Nevertheless, Oscar would never let this curse destroy him. When he turned undead, it had been after a fatal accident, a fight with his younger brother. Ever since the dark sigil had embedded itself against his chest, he had left his homeland of Astora, embarking on the tedious trek west in hopes of making it to this land of ancient lords. He had prepared himself beforehand, so that when he was inevitably captured at the border of Astora and taken to the undead asylum, he was able to get out of his cell with ease. Thankfully, he was still equipped with his armor, weapons, and a set of cell keys he had managed to acquire. Oscar hoped that he would be chosen to lead the undead asylum, so that he may fulfill this prophecy. He must, to save mankind and put an end to this dreadful curse once and for all, for his homeland, his family, and himself. And if he didn't succeed, then hopefully one of these hollows he freed will in his stead. Okay. Now, Oscar continued to peer through his helmet and into the bars where this demon was supposed to be kept. Perhaps it had already been killed? If the demon was, in fact, not here, then the exit to the asylum would be unguarded. However, it was quiet. Far too quiet. The knight waited, silently scanning the area beyond the bars. Then, crash! Giant pieces of the corridor ceiling came collapsing down, nearly crushing Oscar in its wake. Immediately after, a giant hammer smashed where Oscar had been standing, but he swiftly rolled out of the way before the weapon could make impact. Quick to his feet, he unsheathed his sword and grabbed his shield, looking up toward this newly formed hole. He was met with the ugly, snarling face of the asylum demon, jagged horns jutting out from its sage-green skin, and harrowing red eyes narrowing at its soon-to-be victim. Oscar readied himself for the beast to try and crush him again, this time leaping up and grabbing its massive hammer, letting it yank him up and out of the hole. He jumped off of that demon's weapon as soon as he made it through, springing back on the rooftops to get some space between him and the massive creature. Cold, stale air whistled around him, licking against the metal of his helmet and stinging his eyes. He wasn't ready for how quickly the demon pursued him, swinging its weapon again. Oscar managed to dodge the blow, quickly lunging toward the demon's stomach and slashing its belly, thick blood gushing out. The creature howled in anguish, making the ground beneath Oscar vibrate. The knight took this opportunity to thrust his sword forward, aiming again for its exposed, leathery stomach. However, what Oscar hadn't expected was for the demon to recover so soon, spinning round and using its deformed tail to hit him square in his ribcage, sending the knight flying before slamming against hard stone. Oscar felt his ribs shatter in an instant, winded from the hit and coughing up thick spurts of blood that seeped from the holes of his helmet. His gauntleted hands immediately flew to his belt, feeling around for his Estus flask, when the stomping of the demon quickened, becoming exceedingly more loud and making his helmet vibrate. Oscar had no time to react before the giant creature raised its hammer again, slamming it down on the knight's body and sending him collapsing down through the stone roof. Oscar yelled out in pain, muffled from within the chasms of his helmet. His body fell, landing back into one of the stark cells of the asylum, atop a pile of the roof's fallen stone. His head blistered with pain, vision fading in and out. He lay there, basking in the rays of muted sunlight that seeped through the hole he had created, waiting for the demon to leave. Oscar struggled to stop the rise and fall of his chest, holding what breath he could and biting down the pain in hopes that the demon would assume him dead. Oscar waited with bated breath as the demon's ugly head moved from peering through the hole he had fallen down, the sounds of its loud stomping shaking the stone walls as it grew further and further away. Oscar sighed, relief swelling his chest as he let his battered and broken body relax. Pas un rendezvous, Oscar. Pas un rendezvous, he silently told himself. A shaky hand lowered back down to his belt, deft fingers unlatching the leather clasp, releasing his flask. It was a glowing golden flask, made up of forest glass. Its material was imperfect and dirty, yet the liquid sloshing around in it was that of a radiant light. Essence is a substance widely consumed by undead, especially those who embark on life-threatening journeys. An undead favorite, as one would say, as it was quite literally the liquid form of fire. It heals any wound, big or small, an undead might have acquired, keeping one's amount of deaths at a minimum. Oscar raised it up to his face, lifting the visor of his helmet, revealing a disgruntled yet noble face covered in his own blood. He gently placed the rim of the bottle to his bloody lips, leaning back to drink the golden liquid. He rested his head back against the rocks, letting the estus seep through his body, warm and comforting. He felt his battered ribs steadily pull itself back together, dulling the pain significantly. Golden light spread out through underneath his skin as the blood plastered to his face was no more, practically restored in an instant. Certainly deserved its title of undead favorite. Oscar sighed, sliding his visor back in place. He had his doubts, naturally, that perhaps he was not cut out for this journey. He lived a rather sheltered life, after all. He had never gone to war with his fellow companions back at home, and the tournaments he had won were a mere fragment of what the cursed life had to offer. He'd he'd trained himself, of course, but no one could train themselves for death, to be able to experience death over and over. He was scared of death, as any sane man was, but he knew that there was no way around it, that it was a necessary evil. Throughout Oscar's journey thus far, he had learned much about the ways of the undead, almost enough to consider himself an expert on the matter. Either way, it would bring victory to himself, as well as honor to his family and homeland to lift the curse, or see it lifted. Moment, please. Now, still slumped against crumbled stone, the knight hoped that some of the hollows were making a run for it, or trying to take on the asylum demon themselves, though this was unlikely. Oscar needed to make sure to pave a way for them by ridding the prison of the beast. Though these optimistic sentiments were quite vacant, as no matter how hard he tried, he could not overlook the shame sinking in his gut at very nearly being bested by one of the lowest ranking demons. But now was not the time for second guessing, as he very well understood the weight of hollowing and how easily it could happen. Oscar was snapped out of his self-doubt, his nightly impulse alert kicking in as distant rumbling began. It was hard to make out what it was at first, but he was quick to notice that whatever it was rapidly nearing him. The rumble, almost as if something was rolling down towards him, was not in fact the demon, but instead crash! Oscar did not think for a moment longer before instinct kicked in, throwing himself out of the way of the boulder barreling directly towards him. It crashed through the barriers of the cell he fell in, slamming into the stone walls he had rested against. The knight's adrenaline prevailed. Grateful he managed to get his sword and shield out of the way before being utterly flattened. The boulder simply sat stuck in the pile of brick and stone where he had fallen, quite harmless now. But Oscar didn't dare let his guard down. Shield held in front of his chest and one handing his straight sword, he crept out from the gaping hole the boulder created in the stone wall, effectively freeing him from the cell. Something or someone must have forced it down, he thought. Most probably some hollow soldier still clinging mindlessly to their one and only duty. Oscar brushed the rubble off of him, eyeing his surroundings from beneath the narrow slits of his helmet. He was in a new part of the asylum now, out of the underground half, and closer to where the exit presumably was. Cold air whipped around his person, making him grateful for the heavy layers of armor he had on. There was a staircase that went up, and evident from the fragmented steps, and was most likely where the boulder came from. There was also a staircase next to it that led down, but Oscar's attention was caught on the balcony he was on. He moved closer to the edge, looking down upon the main courtyard of the whole asylum, overrun by colorless grass and withered vines. Ahead of the courtyard was a large iron door. All it took was the sight of blood encrusted onto the edges, making the iron rusty, for Oscar to know it led to the last trial this prison had in store for him. That is most definitely where the demon awaited any undead foolish enough to get this far. Oscar needed to get the upper hand on the beast if he was to beat it in combat. He went back to the sets of stairs, opting to take the one leading upward. He assumed that whatever had pushed the boulder resided at the top, and his suspicions were proven right when he spotted the hollow in question. It was weak and frail, and didn't put up much of a fight when Oscar swiftly ran his sword through its skeletal chest. He pitied them, truly, and deep in his heart it pained him to have to slaughter them senselessly. Oscar made his way down the short hallway, out a narrow cell opening that led to the outskirts of the asylum. Cold air chilled him all the way to the undergarments of his armor, making his eyes dry from the high altitude of the cliff. A few dead bodies of former prisoners were strewn limp across the stone paving, like leather carpets or rags. The knight walked up to the edge, partially protected by broken walls. It overlooked the path he planned to take to escape. However, it was much too high up for him to jump. Oscar was swift to catch an arrow that was shot at his face, quickly turning towards three hollows that hobbled towards him, broken and decaying weapons outstretched. The hollow that had shot the arrow was safely down the path, pulling the bow taut as it shot more towards him. The knight was graceful and experienced as he pierced his sword through its back, flinging its frail body off the edge. Then he grabbed the second hollow and used it as a human shield to let the arrows of its comrades stab its flesh. The third hollow fell just as easily, as Oscar grabbed its bow from it and snapped it in half across his plated knee. He used the sharp piece of the bow still in his grip to crash the hollow's head into, impaling its face. Oscar let the hollows fall dead around him, the harsh gusts making his tabard flab, a typo, flap in the wind. Admittedly, it was an aggressive way to do things, but Oscar had grown accustomed to swift kills. And besides, it was better to get it over quick than not at all. Now, with the hollows blocking his path gone, he stood right at the thick wall of fog. The essence of fog walls were vague and unknown, simply left as knowledge only known to the gods. From what Oscar had gathered through his studies and experience, though, he concluded that they were barriers created by the gods themselves to signify the designated fighting areas of beings harboring Lord souls. Some fog walls weren't even accessible by mortals. Either way, once you went in, you either come out victorious or you don't come out at all. Oscar secured his Estus flask against his belt for easy access, gripping the handle of his shield and the hilt of his sword in his leather-clad fists. Slowly, he stepped into the thick mist, white overtaking his vision as he pushed through to the other side. His sight cleared as he bat away the tendrils of the fog wisping around his person. The knight was standing on a rounded balcony that overlooked the battle area. It was built like the nave of a church. Rows of pillars and archways lined both sides, and large dull vases, or vases, decorated the pathway. A bubbling growl emitted from below him as he bent down to look over the ledge. Aha! Oscar was right, and the fog wall had led him to a vantage point. He now stood above the giant demon, in the opposite direction the demon had originally expected him to come through, effectively confusing the beast. It was a miracle that the low-ranking demons were not the brightest, left to do the dirty work of the gods. The demon looked up at Oscar, teeth bared, snarling and nostrils flaring. The knight didn't wait a moment longer, taking the chance to catch it off guard as he stepped away from the ledge. With a running start, Oscar leapt off of the ledge, firmly holding his sword downward. The sword pierced right through the demon's snarling face. Thick, dark blood sprang out and onto Oscar's armor. The demon's thundering screech shook the asylum as Oscar twisted his sword deep into the flesh of its face. Once he had done enough damage, and before the demon could fling him off, Oscar ripped his blade out and jumped down to the uneven stone floor. The knight got his bearings forthwith, bolting off to the pillars to distance himself from the large enemy. It recovered quickly, its hastened stomping shaking the stone under Oscar's soles as it made its way to the pillar he hid behind. As expected, the demon swung its hammer across violently, destroying the stone pillar and making it nearly collapse on top of the knight. He hurriedly rolled out of the way so as to avoid being crushed by a fallen stone, then leapt around to the demon's back, slicing its thick tail off. More blood came, obstructing Oscar's vision through his visor. The demon howled, but swung its weapon back haphazardly, hitting the knight flat against his blue tabard. He gasped out as he was nearly flung back across the other side of the nave with the sheer force of the blow. His shield had flung clean out of his grip as Oscar struggled to get up, hand grasping for his Estus flask. He dodged the demon's second blow, rolling behind another pillar to quickly take gulps of his flask. This time, though, when the demon shattered the pillar, he lunged from under the swing to slash through the demon's pot belly. Again and again Oscar hacked through its thick, leathery flesh, powerful legs dodging uncoordinated blow after uncoordinated blow. Finally, his blade gave the final blow, sinking as deep as his sword would allow and twisted until the demon's roaring ceased. As soon as the large body stopped struggling, he tore his blade out, watching with ragged breaths as the demon crashed to the ground. Relief washed over his tense muscles as the beast's body slowly began to reduce to white ash, the bright particles blowing in the wind and disappearing into nothing. All of the demon's remains had disappeared, except for one thing, its soul. There it hovered slightly above the ground, its flames flapping elegantly. Oscar picked up his royal shield, strapping it to his back, before making his way towards the center of the nave, reaching down to cup the demon's soul. He rested his sword, still dripping with blood, at his hip against his belt, before gently merging the soul into his muscly chest. He felt the renewed power rush through his veins, an exhilarating feeling as it merged with his own soul. Breathing heavily into his helmet, he then bent down to dig through splotches of blood for what he really came for. Finding the familiar handle, he pulled out a rotting key. The key to the exit, or more commonly named, the Pilgrim's Key. Or at least that was what the prophecy called it. Thank the gods, Oscar silently praised. He would finally be able to leave this place and be taken to the sacred lands. Only in the ancient legends is it stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. Flicking blood off his gauntlets, he walked briskly over to the sizable metal doors, slotting the hefty key into the lock and turning. Once he heard the click of the door, he stepped back. Using both his hands and all of his might, he pushed down onto each door, groaned loudly under the pressure, screeching from the rust and the hinges, opening slowly as he continued to push harder. At long last it opened fully, like the wide maw of a beast, letting a refreshing gust of wind hit his body. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage. Now he could see the short, winding road that led up to the edge of the cliff, exactly like the prophecy foretold. He felt a sort of anxious pit form in his chest at the realization that he was about to leave the rest of the undead prisoners stranded here, but was quick to remember why he was doing this in the first place. He was going to stop at nothing to cure everyone of this godforsaken curse, if it is the last thing he does. He sighed, patting the scabbard of his sword quietly, and continuing on his way down the gray path. Snow lightly clung to the tall blades of grass surrounding him, little bits and pieces of crumbled ruins and arches lining the pathway like it was all pushing forward to the cliff. His palpitations began to pick up its pace, slowly as he neared the ledge, broken stairs leading him up higher into the clouds, whispering prayers over and over again in his head. To the land of the ancient lords. Finally, He stood at the ledge, nothing but gray clouds and distant mountains before him. Wind blared around him as he stood chin up, the sounds of wings flapping becoming closer and closer. Black feathers clouded his vision as the giant sacred crow swept down to the cliff and circling him with its large, graceful wings. It felt as if time slowed for Oscar. As he was chosen, the bird grasped him in its claws, lifting him off his feet and taking him with it as it flew off towards his destination. Aldrin. And for the translation
Ooh.
for my French, not a good start, Oscar. Not a good start. Very good. Okay.
Yay! Thank you, Bev!
Yay!
Sorry
You're
about that singular typo. Blast!
Blast.
Those always slip in.
Oh, they do, especially when
Yeah.
it's a word, like an actual word. You don't catch
Yeah.
it, like it doesn't catch
Oh,
up
yeah.
for you, and you're like, but no.
No, it sucks. It's so frustrating, but it's been a while since I've looked back at it, and oh my gosh, when I wrote that chapter, this was I was still in high school.
Oh
It
wow.
was I think my junior year. Yeah, crazy.
That's really
Mhm.
good.
Crazy.
I love how we
Mhm.
can
Thank
imagine the
you.
game while, going
Yeah.
through it.
Thank you. Thank you. I remember like when I was writing this thing, I started a new save file so I could just sit in the undead asylum and just like write everything I saw and heard.
Yay.
That's so like smart too, though. Just like it really helps having that visual reference.
It really
Mhm.
does. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Oh,
Walter Beat is really fun to listen to.
It
mhm.
Especially
is.
Thank you.
like it's so freaking exciting. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You guys are too sweet. Stop.
I know we were just talking about fight scenes, and then we had that giant one between the asylum demon and Oscar. It's like, oh yeah.
I
Really
do
good.
right. There is a lot of fight scenes in Alter Vita, but that's the nature of Dark Souls, unfortunately.
Yep.
Oh yeah. It's fun though. It's fun.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Omev, for reading it. Your impressions are so good.
They are.
Thank you. I can't wait till I get my voice fully back so I can fully emote. But
Yeah.
good. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It makes it really fun to read. Aw.
Yeah. It's
Jeez.
it's like you guys are like what am I trying to say? Like a tandem duo, but like that type of
Oh,
thing where like the two of you make for a good team, basically.
Um,
thank you. It's true. We do kind of match energies. Oh,
Yeah.
incredible. Oh, that is so much fun. Okay.
Mhm.
I've got another chapter up here that we could possibly read, but we could also pick something else if you guys want. I do have more on the list. This is from oh my gosh. This is Little Tall's uh Storm one.
oh, love
Mm.
that.
Or we could read the next chapter of Lux's Big Fic.
Ooh.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm. Yes.
Mm.
Let's go narrate it.
Oh, I
Or
can tell likes when I read my fics.
I do.
Yeah.
Jeez. You have a really soothing reading voice.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm glad you think so.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
And for your fic, we're on chapter 5.
Okay, so are we gonna do mine first then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun
Okay,
I'll
I'm
go get
glad
some water,
you.
and then I
Oh my god.
guess we could read
Yeah.
Storm next. Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Wait, you gonna get a drink now or after I read?
Yes, because I'm so thirsty.
Okay, have a good drink.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
Oh god, these chapters. Okay, I'll give a little backstory once back. But podcast, you know, your mic is really good quality for you being outside, honey.
Oh, I'm not
Oh
outside
yeah.
anymore.
Oh,
I do have just phone headphones, like the wired headphones on. So I'm glad that they are pretty good quality for that. But I was outside when I first picked up or I first joined. So if that was worse, that's
you
I
actually,
was
well,
outside then.
I
So
think you sounded all right. I don't know if everyone else shares the opinion, but I thought you
I,
sounded.
I I think you sounded just fine.
Yeah.
that's good. Because I, as much as Hazel is mentally tuckered out, she really enjoys being on my laptop, so I don't really want to open that up and deal with that right now. So, yay, wired headphones in my phone.
E.
The big E.
E.
Oof. This is. I'm so close to finishing, but it's so stressful. I'm like, no, work faster.
Oh, I know how you feel. It's like,
It's the chapter I read in this live may be a bit more of a rough draft. I may have to polish it up for it to be like actually posted, but that's fine. You
Oh,
guys can just see the director's cuts.
oh, you're ready to read it? Or yeah.
Not yet. Not yet. Almost though.
Okay.
And I'll have a bit more, just a smidgen more context about the Mass Effect bit.
Yay!
Yay!
So welcome back.
Hello.
Okay, so for these for this chapter, I will say for chapter 5, back I see the clip. Oh, Honey was typing something to you in the VC chat for you. So I'll give you a second to read and answer that before I talk.
no, you can talk first. My bad.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't see that. Okay, let me get that up. Okay, wait.
I didn't mean to snore.
Just as a heads up, I am going to post it one at a time, but these are the ones on our list specifically.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I just like seeing like the whole sort of thing to get an idea of it too.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that doesn't make sense for me to like hoard the list. I'm sure there's like a way I could share it. It's on my notes app, so like.
Oh yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
well, I guess. What am I trying to say? Oops, what's happening? Oops. My goodness gracious.
Oh, is this your fic list right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And this is the last one, actually. Mrs.
Oh.
Little Tall sent in her entire collection of sick fics.
Oh,
Of which
tamales.
one I would probably go to first, because I'm biased. I got it as a gift, so oh,
Waha.
Waha!
woohoo!
If we're so inclined.
Exactly.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. This is very helpful for my ideas.
Excellent.
Try and add more.
Your idea. Oh, for which ones you could add to the.
Yeah.
Yes. More is always welcome.
Wow.
We're in a hoo-hoo kind of mood. I love it.
It's only 9:27 for me.
I know, but here we are.
Here we are.
You're in a
Only I
good
had
time
it
zone, honey.
I am. I'm in the best one, I think.
Damn. Wait, hold on. What time is it for you right now?
Me?
No.
It's later, right?
Me?
Oh, owl.
Yes,
Oh,
owl.
me?
Yeah, owl.
Oh, okay. For me, wait, let me look. It is 9:30.
Oh, okay. So wait,
Best time zone!
all of us share a time zone other than Oh my gosh.
Oh, love.
West Coast. It's so early for me. It's only 7:30.
When I was at 7:30, I was much.
I know. Don't mock the enfeebled. I'll get my voice back. Yes, you will.
How does it feel living in the past?
Always showing off that they don't sound all hoarse and congested. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's really funny.
Yes, y'all are very funny. You keep me laughing.
Those who make each other laugh stay laughing.
Oh, you're also in Pacific time? Oh, glorious. Yeah.
Nice.
Man, if only I had a
There
bit
we-
of alcohol in me. I'd like to be left.
Ghost, best, ghost, best, ghost, best, ghost. Guys, come over here.
One of Troy's friends, that's the evil time zone. Oh,
Evil time zone.
Get out before it makes
Maybe
you
I'll lower
evil.
Oh, too
Oh my
late, man. Are you
God.
kidding me? How do you think I get things somewhat done? My soul for power.
Mom.
Oh my god, that reminds
3
me.
a.m. 3 a.m.
Have y'all seen the trailer for that movie called Him?
Oh, wait, maybe?
Okay, so it starts off like as a trailer for a regular football movie. It's just like, yeah, you never get sleep. You're part of the grind. Get really swole and shit. And then like it's just all like later it transitions to like them doing human sacrifices to get better at football.
Oh.
What the fuck is this movie?
To get better at football,
Yeah, and
you
it's just
make
like
human sacrifices.
Yeah, and it's just like, what would
Me
you
when I need to get better at football.
Yeah. And I was just all like, this is, I don't know why, but you calling it the
Exactly.
evil timeline. I mean, not timeline. What the fuck? Time zone made me think about. Is that how you get things done? Are you doing human sacrifices to get better at football?
A West Coaster never tells all of her secrets. Oh my gosh. Maybe human sacrifices.
You can have a nice.
For those back at home, staying safe will let you have a nice sleep schedule while us Midwesterners can't. It's true. We lord it over you like, it's only 7:30 for us. Oh,
For those curious,
me and
you
Gloria's
don't have to watch
clinking
this
cups
now,
right
but
now,
that's
like,
it.
Beautiful.
I haven't been able to get myself to sleep at a reasonable time. Staying
The
up till
football.
2 a.m.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Also, honey, this is kind of a random thing, but I always love your crack up laughs when you're like cracking up. It's very nice to listen to.
I like giggling around you guys, so there's more where that came from.
Like the bald comet clip, I watch that a whole lot. It has like the clearest of your laugh, and it's like hilarious.
So funny, bald comet.
Yeah, for context, let me try and find it. Am's in it too, and I can tell she
Oh my
loves
gosh.
the look of bald comet.
I love bald comet.
Oh, that's right.
I'm losing it.
Oh. Oh, I forgot.
I love that.
At least he captured my honesty. That's fantastic. Amazing. Nice.
Oh shit.
Oh my goodness.
It was too good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a what is this? What is it called? A Hall of Famer right there.
Hall of Famer.
Is there a bald emoji? Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my god, there is a bald emoji.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Bald! Bald! Bald!
Goodness.
I wasn't even watching what y'all were doing. Laughing just got to me.
The giggles are contagious. What is that?
Oh my god, Nami! Is that Nami? Holy shit.
Oh, beautiful.
I need to breathe.
Yes, breathing is good. Okay.
Can you imagine if we all had alcohol throughout this?
I could not. That would be crazy.
Oh my gosh.
If we all
man.
what?
Oh, if we had a little drinky drink.
I think I would be thrown in jail.
Well, you know what? Just go to Canada and then you'll be of age.
Yeah. I go to Europe.
Yeah. That's actually when I first started drinking. I was just like, well, good thing I moved to Canada. Now that I'm 19, I can drink fine.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. 19, that's a kind of specific.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's kind of weird. It's just like, you turn 18, oh, you could...
No, you gotta wait another year.
You can do some things, but you cannot drink. Don't do it.
Don't you dare.
I swear to God, if you don't wait that extra year, we'll come for you.
I swear to God.
And like all my friends, they were always just like, why are you drinking or whatever. Yeah, and when I turned 19, and honestly, I don't think I even really enjoyed it because I didn't know there was like good drinks until maybe I was 25.
Yeah. That's definitely what I feel like. I like the smell of wine. It just burns my throat.
Yeah.
Wine's good. I like wine.
Yeah.
I like mead.
Mead. Oh my goodness gracious, I love mead.
Too good.
Yeah.
I'm really
so
bad.
good.
If I was ever to be claimed to be an alcoholic, it'd be if I'm around mead because I really, really, really like the taste of it. Unfortunately.
There's so many different flavors that it can be like infused with.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
so good. I haven't
you ever
had it in a
tried?
really long time.
Oh, have you ever tried Viking's blood?
Vikings blood? No, I
Whoa.
don't think so. That
What?
sounds
That's a
incredible.
You
crazy
have to
flavor,
find it.
man.
It's like the sweetest, thickest meat, and apparently the recipe comes from like way, way long ago. Like I forgot the date, but literally like
If
in
it's
the
called
Viking
Viking's
age.
blood, I would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope it's
Uh,
Oh
water.
Yeah.
my
It's like
goodness
it's
gracious!
like
This looks
naming a
delicious.
flavor
It's
of a
so
drink like
good. It
Skulls
is
of the
really like
Innocents.
it's one of the best meats I've ever had.
I am
uh,
going to find this, and if I can't find it, I'm going to order it. I swear to God.
Do it.
you
I
know,
send all recommendations.
one day, honey, we're gonna meet, and then I'll give you. We should find this.
We
Oh my
do. We need
god.
to find this. Oh my goodness! There's different types.
Ooh, I've only had the basic. I would love to.
Ooh, one with apple.
Oh,
The singer from Black Eyed Peas.
Hint of cinnamon.
I don't have a joke for that one.
There's
You don't
one
even
with,
have a hint of one?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Okay.
There's one with a tart cherry.
Ooh.
That sounds really good. I need to get all of these, I think.
Collect them all.
Collect them all, yeah.
On this episode of Readings, we all become a little bit more alcoholic. It's inevitable. Oh god.
You know what? It's worth it because it tastes yummy.
Exactly.
I just remember, Omev, when you would, like... I know I keep bringing it up, but the Sonic thing, that was so funny.
Oh, oh, okay. You
Don't
can
worry, I
tell
won't
the
say it.
story. It's okay.
You sure?
I think I vaguely remember it. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
It was... So we were playing Monster Hunter, me, Frozen, Omev, and someone else, and Frozen was... sorry, Omev was drinking. And it was, like, really obvious. And, I was like running away from something, and I was like, "Oh God, I need to go faster. Like my character needs to run faster." And Omev goes, "Gotta go fast, like Sonic."
Like Sonic.
You go like Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'm like, "Yeah, Omev, like Sonic the Hedgehog."
That's pretty
Yeah, that
good.
checks out. I mean, I'd probably say it's sober too, but like,
It's
Just
funnier
the
that
way
it was
you
under
said
the
it was really
influence.
funny.
yeah, it does make it funnier.
My goodness.
Funny enough, I think when we were when we were drinking when we met last year, I think you were one of the most reasonable. I think.
Oh
Whereas
yeah.
a certain one of us thought, what was it, South Dakota or something was like one word. Wait, South America.
South America.
hmm Yeah, I tried for that one. Oh my god.
Troy
Wow.
is just like, say the first word of South America.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Corey.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't want to say her name, but
The most
it was
lights
her.
of weights. Although you two, I remember a little tumble that scared me so bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't
Laughing, but only
remember
because
any
it turned out
tumble.
okay. You don't remember the tumble? Oh, I do. Then I turned on mom mode. I will not lie about that. I was like, I'm getting you all big glasses of water. You're gonna drink all of it. No more. If you have a drink, no, you don't. I drank it for you. There, it's got
Oh, that's
now.
literally what. I think you and Stag, like, we bought like a shit ton of those like canned drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what a night.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day all of us can meet. We'll have Honey and
Oh,
Al next time.
We'll
yeah.
also have
And
honey
I
mead.
will not be able to drink,
Yes.
Oh,
but
that's okay. You know, we had someone who couldn't drink too, and you know what? We gave
okay.
them something they wanted to drink. Like,
Yes,
I think it was
a
a soda
Shirley
or something.
Temple. Thank you.
Yeah. No, and there'd never be any pressure to drink underage.
Yeah,
Hell
no
no.
worries.
Hell
Yeah, I mean, even
Yeah,
if you
that's
were
good
of
to
age
hear.
and you didn't want to, I'm not gonna say like I'm gonna
Right.
make you do
Yeah,
something you don't want to.
yeah.
Exactly.
I might honestly, I think I might be turning out like more like my dad when it comes to drink. Well, I mean, I've tasted alcohol. I have not drinking it
Yeah.
for if the police is watching this video. I do not
Hey,
partake in that.
aren't you the
But
police owl? Last time I checked, you tried to arrest me and
I'm retired. Remember, I turned into a minor. I retired and got a new job as a like a miner who mines at night with the zombies. But my dad doesn't drink alcohol either. It's just like a thing of like just don't like the taste
yeah.
and like I don't know. I think I might be that same way because I've tried it. I've tasted it sit and it's not. I don't know. It just burns my throat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first ever
I'm
drink.
very,
Oh, go ahead. Dag.
I am very specific about flavors and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, me as well.
So it's like I won't drink alcohol if it tastes bad. I won't drink alcohol if I'm alone or trying to do something that would make that being inebriated or intoxicated, whatever the word is, would make harder.
Mhm.
Mm.
Uh, because at that point I'll just try to go to bed, and now going to sleep is harder because you know that feeling of false falling?
Yeah.
Now
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god.
that happens so much. Like, I haven't had it happen throughout my life since I was real little, but whenever I try to go to sleep when I'm drunk or tipsy, then I keep getting startled by false
Mhm.
falling.
Yeah.
So I don't know what
Yeah.
alcohol does that makes that happen more often, but it does. But yeah, so one, I have a
Mm.
fear of getting addicted. Two, I'm very particular about taste. And three, I'm
Yeah.
not going to just get drunk alone
Yeah.
or when I'm trying to do something that I need to be clear-headed for. So drinking is usually reserved for special occasions in my case.
Yeah. I get that. I have like with also okay, weed is not illegal. It is not legal in Texas. So obviously I do not do that here. And I've never done it before myself. But my like anxiety runs very deeply in my family.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
so when my mom is outside of Texas, she like the main way well, one of the best ways, especially tremors and anxiety. Um, I never thought this, but weed helps a lot with tremors. And
Yeah.
my mom and my poppy both had tremors. And my mom gave my puppy edibles to help with the tremors. And so recently, when I was getting like, prescription meds for my anxiety, she was like, like if it was legal here, because we would never do it illegally,
Mhm.
like edibles would help. And I was like thinking about it, but it's like what she said is like you can have two very different reactions to edibles. It can either help a lot with anxiety or give you a panic attack. And I'm like,
Mhm.
knowing myself, I'm probably gonna get a panic attack. So for that reason, I avoid a lot of like stuff that could have like just affect my how do I even describe it? Like my state.
Yeah.
It really just devolves into me freaking out over not being in my usual state.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Was it autonomy?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I know that they do make strains of like marijuana without the THC, which is what gets you high. And
mm.
they even made one called Charlotte's Web that is used to
I like that
treat
book.
seizures, like really bad seizures.
Oh,
And it's even safe for children to take it. And
oh,
yeah, so that could be something that really helps people in general. That's
oh
awesome that it
yeah.
has that property.
Yeah, that's actually I did not hear about that. I don't know if it's I mean, because Texas is the way it is, I don't know if that something like that would be legal here.
Yeah, probably
I don't know,
not.
'cause
But not yet.
yeah,
There we go. Think of things that are helpful.
yeah, but
Well, it's legal here, so hey, West Coast.
whatever.
I mean, I used to partake in it, and I can tell you that it does heighten paranoia if you take the wrong strain. So you're right to be like nervous, and obviously
Yeah,
never do something if you don't want to, kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It, yeah, it could also be kind of fun. Like,
Yeah. I I remember going to New Orleans for the first time. It's like holy weed. It like everything smells like weed. Like you walk outside and it's just a dust of like marijuana and it's like, oh great. But like and they'll have like I remember in New Orleans they had trucks like food trucks, but for edibles. And they would,
Oh my goodness.
Holy shit.
and this
kind of
guy,
great.
because it was like right outside the apartment we were staying at. Every time I would walk past him, he would offer me an edible, and I'm like, I'm good, dude. I'm good. Leave me. I don't want an edible.
Oh my gosh, he was so persistent. I was like, yeah, this girl right here.
Buy my edibles, child.
Oh, I understand, Glorious.
Oof. Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
That's oh. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know what? I just been staring at my sort of PNG self is the repo robot still. Glorious has just been staring at this little robot.
Oh.
Everyone else is here too, but you see this little robot with the little hotel cap. Up, 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 up.
The repo robot. I want a plushie of the repo bots. Like,
Oh, I bet you they have that.
I bet.
That's
Mm,
free
Like
cash right
marketable
there. That's free.
plushies.
that would be some hot cash. Let me see.
Mm.
I'm looking up it up on Etsy right now.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Oh, that would be so cute. The little eyes. Or big eyes, sorry, I should say.
Yeah.
I see a lot of 3D prints. All these keychains are so cute.
Uh-oh. We sent you down the rabbit hole. You're not coming back.
I'm not coming back, guys.
Yeah.
Look at this though. This is adorable. Oh, it doesn't show you. Oh, okay.
I am currently drawing a nymph.
Ooh.
I'm currently drawing as well. It's going to be the same thing for the next 2 months or something, depending on how long it takes me. Oh, those are so cute.
I know. Oh,
Oh,
there's a plushie.
no.
Ooh, and there's a little crochet little keychain, guys.
Mm.
Oh, this little sticker. Oh my god.
Are we
They're so
going to
cute.
be able to resist buying things today?
Hmm.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
those are cute.
Oh my god, that is so freaking cute. Oh my god, I want a little repo guy.
I know. Just this little guy. And look at this one too. I like these little stickers.
Nice. Oh, Glorious, have you ever played Repo?
Yeah, have you played Repo? It's silly. Silly goofy.
It's fun. I like it. The animation is also very peak.
It is.
I wish I could join you all in VC when you play, but I don't want to interfere with the game.
I think you could if I like screen share with everyone, but screen share with you, but you could only talk to whoever is around me.
No,
No.
that's very fun. PC only though.
Yeah, I heard they're bringing it to consoles. One person I'd
That's
love to play with.
Yeah.
So for anyone disappointed that the start of the episode when I said no podcast, looks like we got a podcast after all.
Hey yo.
Love.
Wide variety of topics.
Just getting intoxicated.
Yes.
Multiple different ways.
Is Wait, Omev, is everyone waiting for me to finish chapter 3?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh, well, I think you
Right.
wanted me to read my thing, unless...
Okay, yeah. Okay, good. I was worried. I was like, I'm sorry.
No, we all just got off topic.
Yeah. She
And I
caught
just,
on. We were trying
like,
to...
yeah, I've just been sitting here drawing, so.
Yeah. Me turning off the teleprompter that says "kill time" until I'll finish this chapter 3.
That's good. Oh.
Okay, but yeah, I was waiting for you to come back for me to explain for
Mhm.
No, we
chapter
were waiting for omelet.
yeah, we were waiting for
Yeah.
And then we all got topic.
Quietly
yeah.
distracted.
For ever since then, chapter 5, I wanted to give some sort of a backstory on that one because it would make a little more sense. So for this one, I wanted to give them a reason of why they would be able to fight because I was thinking of having a crossover with my other stories at the time. I was just like, they need to have action scenes too.
Yeah.
But that never happened. Because of course, like when you have like 10 works in progresses at the same time, you're just like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have a crossover event, it's gonna be so good. Or maybe I'm the only one who
Yeah.
overthinks that with my stories, but
Oh no, trust me. Constantly like, oh, and these guys just meet up and this is how they get along or not. Crossovers are the lifeblood.
yeah. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, all these stories are gonna intersect and then all these people are gonna do stuff and well, I don't think it's gonna happen anymore, so I might as well say it. Adeline and Martin were gonna be people that they meet when the main character of this thing was gonna try to learn how to fight, so that's why they were gonna learn how to fight. So this chapter is sort of the reason for that. That's literally the only reason I wrote this one. But I'll read it anyways if y'all want me to.
I think so.
Okay. Give me one sec. Does everyone have the link, or would you like to just hear my my lovely voice read it?
Here's the link, I think. My cat just groaned.
She's just like, Lux reading. I can't believe it.
Ow.
I think she didn't even do anything. I just took her out, and I think that tuckered her out. That's crazy.
Nice.
Okay, sorry. What'd you say about the link? Did y'all were?
Oh, I think the link was like it's kind of gone now because we typed so much.
Oh, me
But
too.
I think it's pretty. It's there. Oh, thank you.
5.
Bye.
Oh yeah, you got it. Okay. Yeah, we're on chapter 5, just like Dracula.
Oh my gosh. Cinco.
Cinco.
Uh-oh, this is truthfully, you've revealed that this is a modern remake of Dracula, even though there's no vampires.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Gotta build
It's
it
never
up.
too late. I could always retroactively add it too.
Mhm.
Before I go into
Always.
chapter 6, I'll just have vampires.
Yeah, and then they were there.
And then they were there.
Yeah, they were there the whole time. It was really foretold. It was foretold.
Okay, this chapter makes no sense, but I'll read it. If it's too short, also I could do 6, since 6 is also a really goofy chapter. But this is something I've written called Ever Since Then. Previously, Martin did nothing last chapter, really. Adeline and Winter started dating. They're just starting to get to know each other. It's sort of, they don't really know each other that well, but they start to date. And this one is called Chapter 5, Self-Defense. Hey, we should take some self-defense classes, Adeline suggested to Martin. Sounds like fun. Which styles were you thinking? He replied. Karate, Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu. Everyone learns those. We should try something unexpected, like Drunken Fist. You mean try sitting your ass in jail? No, I'm serious. There's gotta be countless households who recognize the usual styles, so they know how to counter us. We gotta be hipsters of combat in order to survive. Okay, why don't you suggest something other than Drunken Fist? If you say so. I know. What about Muay Thai? We're learning self-defense, not how to kill someone. Muay Thai wasn't designed to kill. Nothing is. Then explain guns, dude. Guns could just be a device that emits a loud noise to warn people that they're about to get shot by a gun. Yeah, I'm not sure that's the best example to help your case. Trust me, the best defense is a good offense. Not a great offense, though. That'd be too offensive. Okay, fine. Well, we'll look for a place that teaches Muay Thai. And if we don't find one, we could always use a Thou tube. Adeline narrowed her eyes and glared at Martin. You better show up to every class, she said. I will, unless I have homework. Oh, who am I kidding? I never do schoolwork anyways, he replied. Adeline sighed in response. Hey, don't worry. This whole thing was my idea. I wouldn't ditch it after all this. You mean our idea? The killing stance was your idea, and self-defense was mine, so our idea. Alright, our idea, Martin happily agreed. Thus marked the first activity they have committed to together. And one that won't matter because the crossover never happened and this was written maybe 10 years ago. And if you want, I can do chapter 6. Whatever y'all are feeling.
Yeah.
I
All right,
don't
Al, are you
mind,
done with
yeah.
that chapter now? No.
Gulp. I'm working on it.
Chapter 6 it
If we
is.
do
If
read
you're
it,
down for
if we
this.
do read it, it will come at a sudden pause, but it'll be
Oh?
most of the chapter done.
Oh no. We'll read it when it's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to wait? We can even. Do you want to wait until next week or?
Oh, maybe that I may have to do that because then
Yeah.
by that time I'll actually have the full thing posted.
Okay,
But
better not to rush it,
draft.
honestly. What were you gonna say,
Yeah.
Zach? I feel like you were gonna say something.
I was just gonna say, I guess we could either read Storm or eat it while waiting, but if
Oh yeah.
still,
We can definitely read more. Get it.
let's
See. Let me pull it.
oh,
We're on chapter 2.
yes. McCoy
Chapter
family
2.
meeting.
Oh my gosh. But we can't be too offensive. That'd be, or we can't be too offensive. Oh my god. The quote, you get me. It was really funny. It made me cackle with laughter. Oh my gosh. Oh,
Alrighty, let me one.
ooh,
I forgot to
yes.
link my. Yeah, hold on.
Man, I don't even
Ooh.
tired.
Yeah.
I know how that feels.
Okay, that's the one we just read, and this is gonna be the one we will read.
I wonder if I did have COVID though. Like last week I woke up and I had the worst. Oh, well, I don't want to give TMI, but it was like the worst stuffy nose of my life.
Oh
Mhm.
To the
no.
point where I was like nauseous. It was that bad.
Mm.
Sucks.
Mm.
Hmm. But
Being sick just sucks in general.
yeah, not sure if
Yeah,
it's sick or allergies. People have been saying allergies, but it feels a little more intense than that. So I
Mm.
don't know. I do feel better now, though. That's
I'm
the good
glad you feel
news.
better.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
just hope you don't get stuck with a cough like I did.
Oh God, that's right. Knock on wood.
I got the chapter open.
Please.
Although, if you do ever get stuck with a cough, I can give advice to take cold showers and just lay in bed as long as you can, if you can. Because I don't know what it was about cold showers and just lying in bed, but it just I wasn't coughing as much in cold showers, and I didn't cough at all while lying in bed, so I don't really know what was going on there, but
Yeah. All right. I will keep that in mind. Something about the humidity, maybe.
Mhm.
also focusing on something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 2. And the only thing I get in this summary is McCoys everywhere. You will see. The moment Tianaho stepped past the gate into the McCoy property, his legs were ambushed. Giggling was heard as he quickly regained his balance. Two identical girls grinned at him. Sophia and Sally, his second cousins and the main troublemakers of the McCoy family, along with his legs' captors. Whoa now, you two. Manducaris! They both cheered. You're back. Yeah, how? Sally and Sophia were hard to tell apart to the unfamiliar eye, both with cherry blonde hair before that jaw length that had a silky shine. Faint Denobian ridges framed their faces, and light blue-violet eyes that always glittered with mischief. Those eyes tended to freak out most they met, a fact they delighted in. Standing at around 4'6" at 10 years of age, both had tales for who was who, assuming they weren't intentionally trying to confuse. Sally wore a braid along the left side of her face, while Sophia wore hers on the right. While they were both of the same mind and voice, Sophia spoke more than Sally and was normally the one to start conversations. You bet I am, he chuckled, raising both eyebrows. I see y'all've been on her, honing your talents for stealth. Didn't even hear you both. Or smell them, for that matter. Romulan's sense of smell was strong, and Terrans typically had a potent stench, scent for most Vulcanoid races, an impressive feat masking it. Yeah, it drives Dad nuts, Sophia proudly stated. I'm sure it does. Einstein chuffed and jumped down. The twins excitedly greeted her with skill scratches. She crooned, skills shimmering with blues and greens, reveling in the attention. Dianahos lovingly shook his head. Not bothering you too much, are they? He turned to face Henry, one of his many first cousins and the twins' father, walking up beside him. A somewhat lean man of 5'7", with skin toned from years of outdoor work and swept-back dirty blonde hair that was shaved at the sides. Faint red still painted the tips where Henry tried dyeing his hair once. He smiled at Tiana, warm brown eyes full of mirth. They've been planning their little ambush since you told us you were coming. Sis said they got you. That they did. I'm quite impressed, really. With a slight grin, Tiana added, best watch out, they've made for good spies. Well, don't go giving them any ideas. I'd rather they just added to the doctors in the family, not become some secret agents. Sophia and Sally giggled, sharing a look. Their father narrowed his eyes. Don't even think about it. Now go get cleaned up. Dinner's gonna be ready soon. Alrighty. Come on in, say. Henry and Tiana host watched them go. They're gonna be the death of me, all right, Henry said with a tired warmth that eyed his cousin. Good to have you back, by the way. Family's eager to see you again, Grandpa especially. I don't doubt that. I'd be lying if I said I haven't missed y'all. That much was true, despite feeling out of place. The McCoys were welcoming towards him, accepting. That's all he asked for, really. Well, as I told the girls, dinner will be ready soon. I'm sure you're wanting to rest and get your stuff put away. Henry nodded towards the house, clasping a hand on Deanna's shoulder. Come on, let's get you inside. Deanna stretched with a sigh. He had gotten most of the way unpacked, focusing primarily on his clothes, majority of which were extra Starfleet uniforms and plain black outfits. A robe of blues and violet, a loose-fitting lavender shirt, and light brown cargo pants, and his old uniform with its blood green stash stood out from the folded lineup. Roughly 7 years on the Enterprise, and he saw little reason to expand his wardrobe. Something Haraha and certain fellow crewmates tried to remedy. Well, if they weren't successful, the McCoys might be. At least, the moment his cousins and grandparents noticed this. Which they would, no doubt about it. They already fussed over his thinnest, a product of his premature birth. Much like Torin, his uncle, and Gisartiartal, another cousin. Not his fault it was near impossible for him to gain much weight. But if there was one thing he had learned, it was to turn what you have into an advantage. His leanness was no exception, granting him quite a bit of agility, not to mention how many times his opponent made the mistake of underestimating him. It made Torin and Chisrexdok fussing, mostly. Chuckling to himself, Tianahos put the clothes away while returning his uniform to the duffel bag. He wasn't surprised to see that the McCoys had already gotten him some spare clothes, but appreciated the gesture. One of the shirts was a soft golden brown striped sweater, easy on Romulan eyes and pleasant to the touch. Tianahos purred. That would do nicely for tonight. The sweater and gifted pants fit comfortably, not too tight or loose, though he did need a belt for the pants. Hair fixed back into its swept look, he stepped out of the bathroom and about tripped when his leg was grabbed again. Wide green eyes stared at him, full of excitement and curiosity. Little Lorcan, Henry's youngest, wavy brown hair and faint ridges similar to the twins framed his face, which was dusted in freckles like most of the McCoys. Yeah, how? Lorcan. Kneeling, Tianaho smiled gently. Have you been waiting here this whole time? Lorcan nodded and held up a hand in inquiry. And, while not fully mute, Lord was not always capable of verbal communication. Sometimes it was simply difficult to find the right words. Signing was preferred in either case. Standard sign language and Irish sign language was typically used. Standard with strangers, Irish with the family. He had asked to be taught Romulan Sign Language upon learning there was one, and that Tiana knew it. Well, Lord had asked to learn a lot of things Romulan, especially familiar gestures like the hand embrace. Of course, just hold your hand out like this. Tiana showed Lore how to do the embrace. Lore grinned before staring in wonder at Deanna's hand. He pulled back to stare at his own hand and embraced Deanna's again. He blinked at him, to which the Romulan chuckled. Yes, I have a bit of a gift. Runs in my through the Radovan side of the family. The Saharan Hands of Peace, the ability was called. Rumored to run back to pre-Sundering times with the weaponsmith Saharian himself, though others claimed it was from one of his offspring that left with Telus's and Task's followers. Regardless of how, it seemed genetically locked within the Saharian bloodline. Diano's through Diranov was no exception. The hands got passed to his children, Torin, Tiana, Teothan, and Pangea, then to Tianahos and Vieki. Their mother's Terran blood having little effect on it or its strength. Not that it was expected to. It was a tad ironic, a weaponsmith having hands apiece. I'm not very good at controlling it, however. For unknown reasons, some descendants found it near impossible to control the ability. Is that why you wear gloves? It is. Special false talon gloves to protect the wearer's real claws. They mimic the regular Romulan military ones. A gift from Babinga after an away mission saw his old ones, longer variants of Saharian design, destroyed. Well, that, and I've worn them so much it feels strange without them. I understand. Like me without socks. Yeah, like that. Yanahos chuckled. He made the stand, causing Lord Khan to reach for him. He picked Laura up, who curled into his shirt, and they headed into the dining room. There they are. Donovan Rowan McCoy, a burly man of 65 and 6 foot stature, beamed. Down skin dusted with freckles from years of sun exposure. His service in Starfleet on a handful of science scouts did not change that. However, faint scars from rough encounters and accidents did litter a few places. Few gotten rid of since Donovan wasn't fond of using the regenerators on himself. Last Tiana had heard, Donna, Don, Don recently retired at the rank of lieutenant commander. Uncle Donovan, he greeted with a smile. Yeah, how? Come sit down, son. Mom and Pa will be out with dinner soon. Tiana took his seat, Laura still hanging on to him. Donovan sat beside them. So, Starfleet's been keeping you busy here? Across the table, Ebony McCoy smiled knowingly. Deanna Host noticed this and huffed a laugh. I take it y'all already know about me becoming second officer. Of course. Ebony's gray-green eyes glittered, proud and amused. They tucked their curled copper hair behind their ears. It was trying to gray. Ebony was 60. But they made it a point to keep its color maintained, sometimes blackened at the tips. Just because I'm a simple Starfleet star-based doctor don't mean I can't know what my nephew's been up to. So how's it go? My how's it go? My Phelan Rinam? Edmund and Donovan had been the first of his mother's family he met. Pike had contacted them after Mabinga uncovered Tiana's relation to Eleonora and, by extension, the Griffin. The McCoys weren't the only ones notified that day, learning about the lost ship and its crew being important to Starfleet. Meeting the McCoys was the only fun thing to come out of that interrogation, if you asked him. Fair point. Your Rihan accent has improved. Revsum Rear and I, he praised. His own accent mixed a mixed southern twang and Romulan. They inclined their head in thanks. Reich, Joy, Reibach, Rei. What mean? Sophie and Sally announced excitedly. Donovan shook his head with a snort. Y'all and your Rian. He then frowned. Where's Henry and Jane? They should have been inside by now. Dad's still chasing carpet and insides, Sophia said. Sally nodded and added, and Aunt Jane went out to help him. Of course, I swear this happens every other week. Rubik's an excitable boy, Tessa McCoy, Henry's wife, grinned. Much whiter than typical, thanks to her Denominal ancestry. Violet purple eyes shone brightly with mirth. Wavy brown hair and slight ridges framed her face. The ridges were not as defined, given Tess was only a quarter Denominal. I guess Ansai's still in the habit of writing him. Dianos noted, I guess so. Well, they better them in here soon. Food'll get cold. Thomas Jackson McCoy said. He and his wife, Sinya, set some food down before leaving to get the rest of it. For a man of 99, Thomas still sat tall in his hover-capable wheelchair. His long his hair had long since turned white, carefully maintained in a side sweep. His left eye remained a deep dark green. The right had faded due to accidents-induced blindness. Daniel was only 3 years younger and smaller at 5'5", white hair braided with streaks of lavender. Observant but keen steely gray eyes peered from behind her glasses. Other than a bad left shoulder, she was in good health. Volkan yawned, snuggling into Tiana's shirt more, causing the Romulan to lightly nudge him. Hey now, about to eat, Tiana softly reminded him. Lordhound reluctantly sitting up. The porch door was heard sliding open from with the sounds of grumbling, snickering, and claw scratching at the hardwood floor. The large mop of a dog known affectionately as Carpet rounded the doorframe, and Say contently riding on the Commodore's back. The fact that breed existed still baffled Dianos. A grouchy, disheveled Henry and amused Jane trailed behind the pets. Quirking an eyebrow at the dirt, Don asked, "Were you wrestling the dog out there, Ray?" Overgrown mop had me chasing him through the peach fields. At Thomas's glare, he quickly added, "No young peach trees were damaged. Jane made sure of that." A confirming nod made the grandfather relax and sit down the last of the food. Don huffed. "Well, if everything's settled, you two go get cleaned up and come sit down. Gladly." I swear you think he'd have learned by now. You don't chase Carpet, Carpet comes to you. Ain't that right, boy? Carpet wagged his tail and barked. Reminds me of a certain someone, Abney licked Squirt. Say 50-ish years ago, I wasn't that bad at chasing animals. Yes, you were, Zinnia chuckled. Especially the horses. Don sputtered, mildly vexed. Ma! While the table reveled in his embarrassment, Henry and Jane finally took their seats. The former next to Tessa and the latter, Diana. "So, second officer of the flagship, huh?" Don asked as he grabbed some food. "Sounds like a lot of work." "And danger," Thomas grumbled. It was no secret that he didn't much care for Starfleet nor the thought of his family hopping across space. On top of being the security chief, I'll have my duties, that's for certain. When's the Enterprise expected to leave again? Nearing the end of this month, I think. They're mostly upgrading systems and hull plating. It was the beginning of January. If all went well, the Enterprise should be off early February. Then it's off for another 5-year mission, just this time under a new captain. I heard about the change. Have you met the new captain yet? Abney asked. Not yet, but I know who he is, James T. Kirk. I served with his brother while under Pike. Shrugging, Tianahos helped Lorcan with his plate. Sam claimed he's reliable, and I'm willing to take his word for it. Tiana raised his glass of water slightly, but I'll soon see that for myself. Abney nodded in thought. I've heard of the Kirks before. Never met any of them personally, though. I'm sure things will be fine. Elements guide me if they aren't. Could always stay here instead, retire early like Dawn, Thomas muttered, causing Zinnia to lightly smack him. "Thomas," she warned. "I'll be fine, Granddad. I know my way around danger, and I've served under a few less than desirable commanders in my time in space." "That's what they always say," he said lowly. Then something they weren't prepared for happens. Is it too much to ask to not lose any more family? A tense silence fell on the room beyond scraping silverware. Starfleet service was not the norm in the McCoy family, but this didn't stop some of them from joining. Thomas's own brother had served his time in Starfleet before dying as a lieutenant during a fight with a Klingon bird of prey. Then there was Eleonora, thought dead only to be discovered to have been captured by Romulans and wed to the commander who helped capture the Griffin. Skyla, Donovan's wife, too, had been in Starfleet before losing her life on an away mission on her eye, to name a few. Abney and Donovan had their fair share of close calls, and the Romulan military wasn't any safer than Starfleet, especially not the Tal Shiar branch. It didn't help much that the twins and Thomas's grandnephews had expressed interest in joining Starfleet. One could argue Thomas felt especially protective of Tianaos, being the only connection to Eleonora he had left. No, it's not that the idea of settling for a calmer life on the farm didn't appeal to Tianaos. He had considered it the first time he visited the McCoys. Fresh, natural air and sunlight, plenty of work to do for him, and little in the way of expectations beyond pull your weight. Yep, but it wasn't his life. Not now. I can't just leave. You're not being forced to stay, are you? No, not exactly. Though they would be quite resistant to me leaving. Tianos mused. Starfleet still didn't trust him or Ollier. Some less than others. Big surprise. And quite a few believed they held information that they weren't sharing, which wasn't completely false. Tiana still felt the need to withhold some information. He had deliberately sabotaged his Telsiar-class shuttle to keep its cloak out of Federation hands after they begun demanding he let them study it. Well, the cloak and the general Romulan tech. Not like they'd appreciate what I have told them, he thought bitterly. Look, I have my reasons for staying. Starfleet's opinion ain't one of them. What could be worth it up there that can't be found down here? Tom, what is it that makes all that risk worth it? Well, it is space. Got a nice sense of adventure up there, Henry joked before clearing his throat at the frown Thomas gave him. You can get a nice sense of adventure down here. Thomas let it rest, dear. It's their risk to take. We just have to live with it. Besides, Abney will be retiring soon. Will be by the end of this year, I confirm. At least there's that. There's that, at least. And who knows? Mandakaris may have found someone in that ship of his. Green dusted Tianaos' cheeks as Xenia gave him an inquiring smile, drawing the attention of everyone else. He blushed deeper, and Jane snickered. You have, haven't you? Evie, he coughed. Nothing, but it's nothing noteworthy. I've got more exciting tales than that, and I'm curious on how you all have been. Oh, we like to hear about space, Sophia piped up. Gasping, she added, and we could tell you about the Stick Fortress. Yeah, Sally agreed, followed by Lorcan's eager nod. Now, young'uns. Zinnia gestured at them to settle down. There'll be plenty of time for that. She gave Tiana a pointed look. You're not getting out of this that easily, mister. You're going to tell us about the lucky man. Holding up a finger, she added, and don't try derailing this argument about the existence of Lux. Now spill. Breathing deeply, Tiana was entertained the thought of sinking through the floor and hiding away in the void of the universe. It was shameful, really. He was a Romulan. A proud Romulan doesn't hide away from the inquiries of love, from a simple crush, even if it wasn't a simple crush at all. Besides, he was never this shy when Teothan or Kiras, or even his father picked up on it. Granted, he wasn't one for eagerly sharing then, less so now. Well, there was no point in running. Letting out a breath, he finally caved. All right, yes, there is someone I got eyes for. A Vulcan, actually. A Vulcan? Emmy eyebrows raised to her hairline. But isn't eyes widening further in realization you don't mean Spock? How have I not heard this yet? Who's Spock? He's one of my crewmates. He's like me, just half Vulcan. The first officer and chief science officer of the Enterprise. Dianos filled in for his grandfather. Sounds like a good match if you ask me, Jane grinned. Now, hold on. Donovan raised a hand in confusion. I thought Vulcans couldn't feel. And didn't you want to say something about some animosity between Romulans and Vulcans? The animosity part is true, and trust me, we did not get along well at first. Even now there were rough spots. Spike would... Spike? Pike would commonly describe their relationship as either a house on fire or oil and water, with the oil probably also on fire. And that's a bit of a myth. They still feel, they just keep it repressed, usually. He snorted. Some Vulcans were lousy at it, and Spock wasn't exactly the prime example of Vulcan emotional control, though he had gotten better at it. Well, that's something at least. Have you told him? Surely those This is Zinnia. Well, that's something at least. Have you told him? Surely those intense feelings of yours should have tipped him off. Elements help me. And I don't see how any man could resist your charm. Such fierce loyalty and protectiveness, while so gentle. No, any man would be lucky to have you. Air and water give me the grace to steadily navigate this conversation. Thank you kindly, grandmother. Inclining his head, he hoped there wasn't too deep a green painting his face. But unfortunately, no, I have not told him. I'm not sure if he sees me that way, and to be honest, the situation's a little more complicated than that. How so? Vulcans like to arrange marriages when their offspring turn 11. Spock's already betrothed to another Vulcan. And a host shrugged as if it were no big deal. Not that they really like each other, but they wish to please their families. Spock is especially keen on being accepted in Vulcan society. Donovan made a face. That sounds a bit scuffed. What, are they just expected to grow on each other? That's the logic. Some logic. Well, now I'm curious. What about Romulans? Tessa asked, a touch concerned. Were you betrothed to anyone? He never said anything about that if he was. I've not said a lot of things about me or Romulus. Tiana was putting out. But no. There are still some clans that practice it, but it's slowly fading out of favor among the major ones. The Duvek stopped doing them ages ago, so Vic and I never had to worry about that. We chose who we liked. Well, so long as it isn't someone our house clan has animosity with. He suppressed a snort, remembering how Vicky tried secretly dating one of the boys of an enemy house. Mayak Tir Calith. Gilith, if memory served. That was... Torin finding out wasn't pretty. Zinnia hummed. Well, that's nice, I guess, but it's unfortunate to hear about Spock. It sounds like you two may have worked well together, emotional suppression aside. Yeah, well, such is life. Can we tell Mandakaris about the Steak Fortress now? Sophia cut in. She and Sally looked bored while Lorcan had been content to tune everyone out and eat ham. Deanna Host leaned forward with a raised eyebrow. Please, go right ahead. My curiosity grows. It was amazing, she started, waving her fork around in emphasis. It took weeks to build. Mom and Dad helped a lot, Sally added. Yeah, they did. Sophia grinned at Tess. Listen, Henry. Our royal builders. Royal builders, that's all I get. Henry scoffed in Fox offense. Why, I did magic tricks for Lord Lorcan over there. I wasn't even paid. We gave you cookies. The twins protested at the same time. Lore shot back, lousy magic. Excuse you. Henry glared half-heartedly at his son, who playfully smiled. Lord Lorcan, huh? Tiana host smiled while taking a bite of chicken. Lore nodded happily. Were the cookies good at least? Just a hum. They were. The kids made them themselves. Lore's gained a knack for baking. It's fun. Sophia, annoyed at the conversation going off track, cut back in. And Sally and I were Lord Larcon's valiant knights. We even had swords. Lousy knights. Carpet defeated you. Hey! Carpet barked and laughter filled the room. Previous tension dissipating, replaced with a mostly jovial air for the rest of dinner. Stories of happenings on the farm, Tessa's tattoo parlor, and the space station Abney served on, and the adventures of the Enterprise Tiana House got dragged into. He was somewhat careful with those tales, not all to be shared, and not to worry Thomas any more than he was. Thomas, for his part, was mostly quiet for the rest of dinner, save for some grumbling remarks. It was a good time. It was home. As much as Tiana House missed Romulus, he wouldn't trade these moments with their McCoys for anything. Perhaps, one day, the outmarshes wouldn't be between them. Perhaps they would have peace. One day. Water. Tianaho stared up at the stars, tapping the pad that previously held a letter to Olia and Havraha. It was brief, a mere assurance that everything was well in our quest for contact should they have the time. And, in Ole's case, being near communications boy. There was little doubt Havraha would respond first, always happy to chat and close by serving in one of Earth's many bars. Tina wasn't sure which, as Havraha loved to move around a lot, desiring to explore all he could of Earth. He wasn't much bothered by Starfleet trying to keep tabs on him, albeit to a lesser extent than Tianahos and Ole. To him, they had a good reason, and at least they weren't the Tal Shiar. Fair enough, Tiana supposed. It didn't seem like Section 31 had taken to bothering Hav, nor did Ole mention them. Oh yes, Section 31. Being ex-Tal Shiar, one can imagine how they saw Tianahos. A potential threat, but a valuable asset. And one can imagine how Tianahos hated their existence. He didn't need another flavor of Tal Shiar to deal with. Sure, S-31 wasn't exactly the same as a Tal. But they were close enough, and Tianahos could argue them being worse in some ways. More secretive to the point that the public and even some Starfleet higher-ups knew not of their existence, while the ones that did helped cover them. Regardless of whether Starfleet officials knew didn't matter, Section 31 was essentially rogue. Even the Tal Shiar was known and kept under tabs, even if they sometimes undermined authority. The Praetor's orders were still heeded. They served the Praetor and the Empire at the end of the day. But at the same time, S-31 did not flex its powers, at least not openly. There wasn't the same air of paranoia for the regular Starfleet citizen or Starfleet officer. Most need not worry about being whisked away into the night for criticisms. Those that were silent in those criticism or uncertainties had no psychics prodding their minds. So, in other ways, Tianahos could say they were better. Regardless, he avoided them as best he could. Leaning back on the porch steps, he allowed the cold air and gently rustling leaves to ease him. It did little good to worry now. There was a time for that. Enjoying the night, Raytag came to mind. Georgia was not dissimilar from the Romulan city. Raytag could get a little colder, being closer to the north, but the temperatures were mostly the same. The greenery, too, was similar. Raytag took great care of the nature surrounding and within the city. A lightly wooded zone rested behind the Duvek house, leading to a naturally occurring river. Tianahos Feiki Galen, Garrus's nephew, and Olier would often go down to that river, enjoying 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 enjoyed time to be themselves away from prying eyes and listening walls. Up until graduation and new responsibilities saw them split, mostly. The pad came to life with an incoming transmission. Tianos nearly dropped the thing. Havraha's familiar signal lit up the screen. Composing himself with a relieved sigh, he answered the call. A friendly vestige filled the screen, a strangely but ever cheerful Romulan beaming back at Tianahos with a grin that seemed to light up the darkest of rooms. Radiant, gold-toned skin with warmly shining amber eyes. He had no ridges, unlike his two friends. One could easily confuse him for a Vulcan if not for the open emotional displays. A heave! Jolon through. You received that letter quickly. Tianos paused, taking in Evraha's curled chestnut hair that poofed out at the sides. Trying a new look, are we? Jolon through, Meducatus. Giggling with a nod, he flicked his hair. Ah, you noticed. I've always wondered what I would look with longer hair. We aren't under haircut regulations anymore, after all. Well, it suits you. My thanks. Ev peered at Tina. Still rocking that side sweep, I see. With a hum, gloved hands brushed along the sweep. Decided that it was fitting, far more than a regulated cut, I'll admit. No disagreements here. I heard the Enterprise is docked. How goes things? Is Captain Pike well? Uhura? Sam? All is well, except for the usual. Starfleet woes. Got that right. The Enterprise is undergoing refits and repairs. Pike is receiving a promotion to fleet captain, and Sam's brother, James T. Kirk, will be handed command. Pike is most deserving of that promotion. Hmm. I have heard Sam's tales. I believe it is enough to be optimistic, yes? Right. Ah, perhaps with some concerns. But from your and Sahith's stories of service, when is there not? Yeah, I suppose. Tiano's huffed, uncertainty still on his face. Uncertainty. How he hated being uncertain. I'll still be serving as chief of security, and as second officer this time. Havraha clapped his hands, delighted. Oh, that is wonderful to hear. Ah, how I wish you and Saithi were here in person to celebrate the occasion throughout the night. Much like when you and her became Trina. Do you still remember that night? Dino snorted. Hard to forget you somehow managed to convince Saith to play your lute. Or try to, anyway. Lute was not her passion. Laughing, Hev, Hev shook his head at the memory. Oh yes, I remember that well. But she did give it her all. Might have gotten her to practice more if not for underground concerns. I'm sure. Perhaps I can find the time to visit your area. Won't be leaving again until around the end of next month. I would be most pleased if you did. I have some new songs and drink mixes you may enjoy. I'm sure you do. So, tell me, how is everyone else? Will they be staying? Yahura will, I think. So will Spock, thankfully. Oh, don't give me that look. Tiana snapped at the raised eyebrow. Havraha chuckled and winked, taking a sip of some drink. Puffing, Tiana host continued. Sam will be leaving now that his brother has taken over, as will some others. All them around much to get used to. But I am sure you will do fine. You've overcome much already. Your continued optimism is always a welcome sight. He smiled faintly. Evraha was always an odd Romulan, cheerful and optimistic, though not unrealistically so, against the paranoia and strict caste system. Even in becoming clanless, Hav remained positive. Dienhos didn't know what house clan Havraha had been born to. Assumingly his own before they became friends, or he simply hid it well, along with his ownership, given he was able to keep a job. In a society built on kinship lines, a clanless Romulan did not exist legally and was normally barred from work. After defecting, Havraha soon dropped his locative name, becoming simply Avraha or Ahivr to those close to him, or whatever his true name was to whomever he should give his heart to, if he was even interested in finding a mate. Dianos wasn't quite sure on that either. Nor was he with Helier, really, but it wasn't his concern. Dianos' own love life was a disaster, as it were. While technically no longer part of their clans, he and Olile kept their clan names. There was no telling them otherwise. However, should he drop his, the McCoy name was always available to him. I speak the truth. You survived much. Yeah, I know. Wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't kept fighting. And I will continue to fight. And I will continue fighting. Of that I have no doubt. But enough dwelling on our uncertainties. I know how those plague you. I am eager to learn of what I have missed, what stories you must have since we last spoke. Trust me, I've got plenty. You're gonna love the space manta rays. Eyes widening in wonder, Havraha leaned in closer as Tianos launched to the tale. The bartender's intrigue not wavering once while listening to his friend's stories. In turn, he told Tianos of favored and strange moments working at different bars and what he had learned of Terran culture. It was well into the night before they bade farewell, Tianos once again promising to try to visit. Shivering at the cold that was now becoming too much for him, Tiana stepped back inside, his pad signaling some new reports to look over, and he intended to do so that night. And in the chapter translation, Yachau, Romulan, hello, goodbye for family. Rue de Renoven, grandfathers. Feder, Renam, one variant a nephew, literally means son, sister, or sister, son. Ravasem Rinai, neutral variant of aunt, uncle, literally sibling, matro, or I'm assuming mother's sibling. Reiru Oya Rehan, I, superior to inferior, am continuing to practice Romulan. Oimian Wias 2, Rai Brochia, I, superior to inferior, noticed. Jolon Tru, more popular and common form of hello, goodbye. Thraidam I, lieutenants in fact. No. My throat hurts.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
You did so
Way to
good.
go! You made it!
Yes,
Oh
that
my
was
gosh,
awesome.
it's nostalgic. Oh man.
My throat.
Yeah, I got that.
No, not the dying,
Oh, honey, listen to this.
I've no time for
Jerky.
no.
And I forgot how much fun Havraha's voice
Yuri.
is. Eh,
Mhm.
Yuri.
I love Havraha.
That's good.
time for gay sex.
Excellent. Excellent.
I'll kill you.
Right.
I
Yeehaw!
put-
Yee. Man. The whole intrigue with Romulan society and just trying to exist while also being only half Romulan. It's like, oh,
Yay.
I feel for Tiana
Yeah.
so much.
There's actually one.
Really.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
There was one note that I had that I still consider adding in, and that's the fact that Romulan society is a bit more and Vulcan society is a bit more matriarchal in nature. So, in most cases, a married Romulan would take their wife's clan name,
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
surname. Of course, that didn't
Nice.
happen with between Eleonora and Pangier since Eleonora was human. But one tidbit I considered adding was like in uh was basically commenting on this that had Pen the roles been swapped and Pangier ended up on Earth instead, or if perhaps Romulans weren't as xenophobic as they were, that Pangiera would have taken the McCoy name instead of Eleonora taking the Duvek name. So technically, Tiana going by McCoy would have been accurate to his society if not for the animosity.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's cool.
I like the depth of that.
He's
Yeah, I like the amount of thought put into it. It's really good.
Mhm. Good. Reminds me of just like oh man, what is it remind me? Just like the way you read it too feels very like clear. It's so clear and like easy to understand. It's good. Very good
I'm
reading
glad to hear.
style. Yeah.
I do
Very
admire, yeah, like everyone's writing here, like all of you have a vision. You really craft the stories. I admire that a lot.
Oh,
Mhm.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Oh, one more thing about Romulan. So, you know how they have the located names as their middle names?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Like, that actually gets dropped for married Romulan, I think, and it gets changed to their old clan. So in like Eleanor's case, her name looks like this now.
Oh, interesting.
The located names were dropped. I just know that when they get married, their old clan house clan name is still in their name.
That's cool. I like that.
God, I miss the deep dive into Romulan. And again, all of this is apocryphal canon and partly fanon. So it's like none of this is actual canon, and it makes me sad because it's so much depth.
Oh,
But yeah, it's a lot of apocryphal canon stuff that won't really be seen in the shows. But man, talking about it really makes me want to get into it again. I miss Star Trek. I miss the complicatedness of Romulan and Vulcan culture.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Diana
Reading it,
hosted.
talking about writing it, watching
E-
it. Hopefully it's like sparking a return to it as well.
E-
Mhm.
and weirdly enough, a lot of like I'm gonna try to speak a bit vague here, but some of Romulan culture is helped inform the Krivni a bit,
hmm.
Hmm.
Mm.
at least in terms of like some of the language and how it's structured. There's also kind of a house clan system going on with the Krivni. And pretty sure their lettering looked a bit like Romulan, so there is that, but that's as far as it goes because the Krivni are far more open-minded than Romulans are.
Yeah. It seemed like it.
And you running out
I
of
worked it.
steam, Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Huh?
Are you
Am I
running
writing
out of
another thing?
running out of
Yeah,
steam?
well, I mean, I I'm working on warmth again. That's what I'm working on right now. That's my main focus.
No, I said,
Okay.
are you running out of steam?
Oh my god, that's how you know I'm running out of steam. I can't audio process anymore. Oh,
You sound tired, honestly.
Mhm.
I am. West Coast, more like weak coast, am I right?
Because
More like sleep coves.
sleep goes.
Even better.
Well, that's why you get such good sleep. You sleep early.
I
Yeah.
know. And I stay. I think it's because I've been sick. I blame
No.
sickness. Wait.
Oh.
You wake up early as hell. Like, it's
I
early for
do.
me, and then I see you up already. I'm just like, what the?
Yeah.
I know. I
I,
will.
I will say I come bearing terrible news.
Hmm?
I haven't finished chapter 3 yet, but I promise by next week all 3 will be done and posted.
Oh, yeah.
Excited to
Excellent.
That's okay.
see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By the time it's
Right.
next week, expect exciting things.
Yay!
Yvonne got my message.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw.
Oh shoot!
You saw me reply. Did I reply? Oh God.
I don't think it's this universe that you replied to me.
Oh
That's okay. You could take your
yes.
time to rest, reply if you want, or if you don't want to. It's fine.
No, I did. I did. It's the secret thing is on the list. Aha.
Ooh.
I did reply. Shh.
Yay. And then on top of that, we're gonna have a new owl chapter. Yay.
Yay.
That's not what your series is called, by the way.
The owl chapters. The saga of the feathery,
The owl
the
chapter.
fiend.
Owl's notepad stuff. Yeah, no, I'm very excited. I was writing the fight scene and I was like, oh, I'm losing the plot. I need to come back here with a fresh mind. But
Mhm. Yeah.
almost done.
Almost done. Nice.
Yippee.
I can't say the same about any of
That's
my
majestic.
projects.
Majestic.
Yes, it's good.
Oh, majestic!
Exactly. All right, King. I hope you all get some good sleep
Yeah,
and
you
come
too.
back
Yes, you
with me
too.
Yeah,
with
y'all too. Thanks
mines.
as always. Have a good night,
Thank you.
Of
everyone.
course, thank you so much. Thank you,
Bye. Good
Omen, for reading my
night.
thingy.
Yeah,
For,
what?
thank you for reading my chapter.
Yeah. You're
Yay.
welcome. It was a delight. All right.